basically I'm a biology teacher. Now our school is, in a blooming stage. We are up to seventh only, and I have a experience of 14 years of teaching biology. I'm a PGT biology, and that's it. Thank
Thank,
you.
thank you so much for your introduction. Thanks. Shipra?
Yes, ma'am. So my name is Shipra Chavla. I'm based out of Raipur, Chhattisgarh, and I have a total teaching and training experience of around 15 years. Earlier, I worked as an assistant professor in the Department of Management at a reputed institute, and since last 3 years, I'm working as a freelance soft skills trainer. I am also a certified corporate trainer and I create content on Instagram. I started almost 6 months back. So the name of my page is Coach Chipra Chavla. And there I try to, make people understand how communication works in a better way and use storytelling and stuff like that to make the content relatable. So you guys can go check my page and please do follow.
Lovely. Shipra makes wonderful content and I
Thank you
started
so
following.
much. Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Thank you. Yeah, who's going next?
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Chef Gaurav and I am into culinary education since last 15 years and I do freelancing also.
Mhm.
So that's what all about me. Thank you.
Wonderful, Gaurav. Where are you from? Let us
Yeah,
know.
I'm from Jaipur.
You're from
Jaipur,
Jaipur.
Assam.
A lovely
Yes.
place to be in.
Yes.
Okay, Nidhi, your turn.
Okay, finally. Okay. Hello, all of you. Good morning. So, I am also from Jaipur, basically from Jaipur, and got married in Faridabad. So, over 16 years of my experience, all together. First, I started with my corporate sector as an HR person. Then, because of the interest into trainings and everything, I shifted completely to trainings into, I would say, universities. So the rest of the years of 14 years of my experiences with the university, soft skills training for the students, and it was all freelance throughout. So I have my company as Evolves Within. So I am associated with various colleges in Faridabad and other related in Delhi NCR and also Jaipur. I did my PhD in Jaipur from IIS University and now upgrading myself because I'm now I again want to be a part of corporate sector. So
Lovely.
this is a phase wherein I'm upgrading myself to be a part of corporate sector again. So
That's
that's
fantastic, Nidhi. Thank you
thank you,
so
ma'am.
much. Thanks for this. How about other people who are here? If we haven't interacted, it would be great if you can just turn on your camera and just introduce yourself. There's still, okay.
Hi, hello everyone.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, Bindu. Hi, Sheila. All the best to both of you for today's session.
So,
Yeah,
how are you doing, Rashi?
yeah, I'm doing good. So, yeah, about myself, I'm Rahila from Chennai,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have much experience as you people. I'm just a beginner. I just have 3+ years experience as a teacher. I teach French, and recently I have begun with soft skills. So, I do freelancing for French and soft skill training. That's it. Thank you.
Wonderful, Rashi. Wonderful. That's great. So, again, a very humble request to everyone. It would be really nice if we can just keep on our cameras turned on.
Yeah, we have something for all of you, and it would be motivating if all of you could keep your videos on. So we can just begin the session once that's done. Great.
So, is there anyone who would just like to share anything else? The purpose that you decided to be here today in this webinar? Any particular purpose for being here in the webinar today?
Ma'am, it is a complete motivation because of you for my end. So the way the POXO training went on and other things, so it's because of you. Now I'm looking forward to, of course, upgrading myself and getting a good knowledge about this particular topic and how the things would be. But yeah, my motivation was you.
Thank you so much, Nidhi. Thanks for your words of appreciation, and this is really encouraging. Thank you. Yeah. Anybody else who would like to share that why? What is the purpose? Why are we here? Would love to know that.
Obviously, Bindu ma'am, as Nidhi rightly said, the motivation behind attending this webinar is you, but at the same time, wanted to gain an insight because I have never been associated with any corporate as such. So I intend to do it in the near future. So I just wanted to understand how team works and how communication should be like.
Thank you so much for this confidence. And I really pray that I'm able to keep up to your expectations. We are able to keep up.
I'm sure, ma'am.
Me too. I also joined because of Bindu, but definitely me having worked in corporate, I know that it's definitely a challenge working cross-functionally. There are teams who find it as there is an obstacle between for the communication or the information to flow between teams. So I wanted to understand a new perspective. I didn't know that Bindu was going to do this session. So anyways, I am looking forward to it because I have attended Bindu's session in a different training and it was very insightful.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Jacob, for your words. Yeah. So
I am also here to learn, to understand how to, keep the team unified, how we can work together more efficiently, how we can manage our team, how we can, work together properly and systematically, all these things.
Perfect. Thanks, Gargi. We have Kanika. Kanika, good afternoon. And it would be great if you could just introduce yourself. Hi, Kanika. Okay, so let's begin. And before we start, quickly, again, a reminder, my energy or our energy, along with Sheila, we are going to do this, and our energy. You know, what is our energy today? Everyone, can somebody just guess what's the energy? You all are the energy.
You.
all of
you
are going to give us that energy. So request everyone to please keep the cameras turned on. Thank you so much. And before we play the slides, it's really very chilly out here in Delhi, Noida, NCR. And before that, we thought, let us do some warming up, right? So quickly, what are we going to do? We are going to do this clap, snap, freeze. So let us understand how are we going to do it. It's like clap, snap your fingers, and freeze. Has everybody got this? Sheila, am I audible? Okay.
Yes, Bindu, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So I think there was some issue with some videos just got they just froze.
Frozen.
Yeah. Okay. Hello. Warm welcome to Sheila and sorry, forgot your name.
Forgot my name.
Thank you both of you for joining. A lovely couple. I met them in another training. So thank you so much for joining. And you're well in time. We are going to play the icebreaker. What we need to do is we are going to clap, click our fingers and freeze. Is that okay? So let me start. Okay. Clap, snap your fingers, freeze. Again, clap, snap your fingers, freeze. Now what you have to do is you will do the opposite of it. When I say snap your fingers, you're going to clap. And when I say clap, you're going to snap your fingers. Are we ready? Okay. Clap. Snap your fingers. Freeze. Clap. Snap your fingers. Freeze. Thank you so much. Over to Insia.
Thank you, ma'am. Can everybody see the screen?
Yeah.
Yes, so good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar by Atulit Academy. Thank you for taking the time to join us. Atulit Academy. Atulit Academy was founded by Radhika Kautha, a corporate trainer and learning designer who works extensively with professionals and organizations on communication, ownership, and workplace effectiveness. The Academy was created with a clear intent to help professionals communicate with clarity, take ownership, and perform effectively in real workplace situations. Today's session is titled Bridging Team Silos Practical Ways to Collaborate Across Departments. And it has been designed to be practical, relevant, and immediately applicable for corporate professionals. Before we begin, a few housekeeping points. Please keep your microphones on mute. Use the chat actively for reflections and responses, and stay with us till the end for a useful takeaway resource. I now invite our facilitators for today's session. Ms. Sheila Shetty is a dynamic language and communication trainer who helps professionals master effective communication, build strong relationships, and boost their career prospects with engaging workshops and personalized coaching. She empowers individuals to speak with confidence and achieve their goals. We also have Miss Bindu Chugh, a distinguished soft skills and personality development trainer who brings both depth and dignity to the world of professional learning. With a rare ability to connect head to heart, she helps individuals build confidence rooted not in performance but in self belief. Her sessions are known for their emotional Her sessions are known for their emotional achievements and lasting impact, enabling professionals to communicate with clarity, presence, and purpose. Today, she joins us not just to train but to inspire meaningful transformation. I now invite Bindu ma'am to take over.
Thank you so much, Insia, for such a wonderful introduction. Thanks a ton. And let's move on to the next slide. Yeah. So before we begin, humble request to everyone, let's keep it interactive. We are here from different sectors, and the more we interact, we will gain more clarity. Yeah. So let's begin. Now, I just want everybody to just observe the picture. And observe the picture, type in the chat box any one word that you observe, any one word about the image that you see on the screen right now. Just write any one word that comes to your mind when you look at this image. I'm waiting. Okay. Rashi says stress. Okay. Shipra, achievement. Divya says collaboration. Lovely. Okay. Waiting for others quickly. Come on. Let's make
Can
it
I
interactive.
speak?
Can I speak because I don't know where's the chat gone. I can
It's okay.
see.
It's okay. Mismanagement. Okay.
I can
Collaboration.
see bright, sunny, happy life.
Enthusiastic. One picture is the enthusiastic people around, and the other picture they are very confused.
All right. Wonderful. Anybody else would like to
The
share?
first
So,
picture, what I see is they are, very much, healthy working environment. They are all happily working, collaborative working. Another picture, it's totally chaos. They are in like they are lacking the time. They have some timeline. No? That's
okay. All right.
It can be about the perspective of the people working in a same environment.
Right. Perfect. Thank you so much for such wonderful responses. I think we've all got it. One side seems totally confused. They have no idea what's going on. They look stressed. There's probably paucity of time in completing their work. But the image on the left hand side is completely different. Now, do you think that is it just the talent that takes us forward, or there is something beyond talent that lets get the desired results? My
Now
question
your
to you.
interpersonal skills.
Sorry, did
Your
you?
interpersonal skills, ma'am.
All right, interpersonal skills.
I give more importance to ma'am emotional intelligence that plays a very vital role in our personality throughout,
Wonderful.
whether we are at any stage of our life.
Amazing. Yes.
The mentorship and the leadership of the leader or the team leader, I guess.
Okay, great. Anyone else? Would
So
anybody else?
we have, Bindu,
Mhm.
we have some responses in the chat. Divya says chaos. Rahila says team coordination. Then the couple says happy and sunny work life. Then attitude, how we take it.
Okay,
Jacob says the bonding between team members. Then mind shift. There you
right.
go.
Thank you so much. So I'm sure each one of us would love to be on which side? On the right hand side or the left hand side? Tell me.
Left hand
Left.
side.
Left hand side. Why do
The,
we want
the
to be on
happy
the left
side.
hand side? Sorry?
The happy side.
The happy side. Awesome. Super. Okay. So now what do you think makes it a happy side? What we see here. It's because, of course, you've given the reasons. There's a lot of bonding. And the most important thing is the collaboration, isn't it?
Teamwork.
We see there looks like there's some purpose that all of them have achieved together, right? So,
Common goal.
yeah. So it's not about the talent always. We may be talented, but if we do not bond with people in the working environment, we all know how stressed the environment can be. And that is what is the real life situation. I hope that you all agree with me. Yes or no?
Totally,
Yes,
totally, ma'am.
ma'am.
Completely.
So you all are at different workplaces. Tell me, which which image from these two relates to your workplace? Type it. Positive or negative? Tell me.
And the positive for me, my
Oh, that's
workplace.
wonderful. Okay. What about others? Positive?
Ma'am,
It is not same. Some
Okay.
days it's like the positive side, certain, and even in a day, it can be like it starts with the chaos, but at the end of the day, everything is getting fine. So I cannot generalize. Like in a month, we have 28 working days, and in that, every day is a different day for us. Every like
Hmm.
some days, some challenges are there when students are here. So now students are not coming because of the winter break. So now the things are different. So every day, otherwise, if we are talking about our team,
Yeah.
that only when we are working, all good.
That's
Problem comes like
wonderful.
when there is some kind of functions or some preparations are going on, like run
Mhm.
throughs are going on. That time, at times, it gets some chaotic, but otherwise, it's good.
That's amazing.
Mhm.
So when you say that it is good most of the times, do you think it happens on its own or we have to make an effort to do that?
A lot of effort is needed.
ma'am, we have to make an
In our
effort
team
all
at
the
this
time, I
only.
would say.
Very true.
I would like to share an example over here of my experience.
Mhm.
As I've been throughout, like from last 14 years, I'm a freelance. So
Mhm.
as a freelance, it's your, your behavior towards your people you work with and everything. But there is this one organization here. I have been associated from last 11 years with all the, breaks in my life because of my, I would say the behavior and my, I can say interpersonal skills. It is like they have always accepted for any time whenever I've taken a break or I come back, I've been always a part of it. So that is really, I really feel very happy because of that. And I can name the organization, it's Manav Rachna University.
Great.
So I've been associated with them from last 11 years with all the breaks. I've taken a break of 1.5 year after my second baby. Yet
Mhm.
I was again back with them.
That's
So
amazing. Wonderful.
that gives me an insight that आपका behavior बहुत matter करता है.
Very
And management बदलता रहता है, but how you have behaved, how you have been there with people around,
that
so
makes
that really matters. So that is my one experience.
Thank you, Nidhi, for sharing this with all of us, and sincere thanks to everyone for so actively participating in this. So, moving further, next slide. So, that is previous one. Yeah. So, since we saw that image, and I'm sure by now we all have the idea what are we going to explore today. So, we're going to talk it out that why do people still work in isolation? Why there are team silos? And then what happens? As Jacob said, it's difficult, isn't it? So sometimes there is chaos, sometimes there is calm, but it needs a regular daily effort to build that kind of collaboration. We are going to talk about that. And everybody definitely has that urge to move from the negative side to the positive side, as we saw in the image. So we're going to talk about certain practical tools that will build collaboration, and we will understand about the role clarity and ownership, even if we do not have any titles or designation. Now, building trust is extremely important because that's the first step towards collaboration. So we're going to talk it out, and we are going to wrap up the session with key takeaways and the small action steps that we can implement at our workplaces. Next slide. So it's not that people are incompetent. When we saw that image, as I mentioned earlier, it's not about the talent. It's how the ability we have to work with others that matters. And that is collaboration. Now, in today's organizations, wherever we are, it's not just the work of a single department, right? There are different departments that have to work together. And because of this cross-functional work, collaboration becomes extremely important. Now, let's say there is a project that a company has to present. So it is going to involve all departments, right from HR to marketing to sales to compliance to operations. And when all these departments are involved, then only the result or the outcome that we wish to have would be only when these departments are working together. What do you think? Yes or no? I might be doing my best brilliantly in my own department, but when the end product depends on the working together of all the departments, the outcome has to be in collaboration with all the departments. So do you think even if I'm working hard, I will be successful, or my company would be successful? Yes or no? No, not at all. Yeah. So that we need to collaborate with all the other departments so that we get the desired result. And that is why, because the result is the total of what teams are working together with. Now, despite knowing that the work slows down because of the silos, people are not able to identify what is happening. Until and until that is addressed, there won't be any change. We will continue working like that. So a continuous effort is required, because when the silos exist in an organization, what will happen? The work will be delayed. People will not be in sync with each other. And definitely the work is going to suffer. Next slide. Over to Sheila.
Thank you very much, Bindu, and a very good afternoon to everybody. So, what
Good
do you all
afternoon,
think? Very good afternoon. So, what do you all think silos mean? You can just type it in the chat box. What is your understanding of this term silos? It sounds very new, or working in isolation, individual unit.
It is like keeping the information to oneself and not,
Excellent.
like a particular department is knowing about the particular thing, but others are still not informed. In an hierarchy, it happens.
Yeah, great, great. I really appreciate each one's participation with answering, and most of you have got it right. So, in a common man's language, silos means working only for their own self or as a unit and you're working, but you are not connected with each department if you're working in an organization. So this is what we are going to discuss today. So what happens when you work by yourself? You don't share information. You finish your job. Okay, my job is done. You can't do that, right? You'll have to share it with the other department in coordination to give a complete outcome. So to achieve a group success, each unit or each department will have to share their information with the other departments so everybody can work together. So this is what team silos means. So it is limited information flow, department first take, that is I finish my job and I just keep quiet, not share my information whatever I finished. And delayed handoff and rework up comes when the information has not been passed on to the next department which has to work on the product or on the project. So let's move on to the next slide, please. So now let us understand whether this happens because of an individual. The silos happen because of an individual or because of an organization. And as the title says, it is not intentional, because when we work in an organization, as Bindu mentioned, we work with different departments, isn't it? So each department has its own limitations and they work on certain work, right? So each department has its own cutoff time. So when information is updated as and when the work is in progress, and if you keep updating the other department about it, then it becomes easy for each department to work. So everyone is busy, everyone is under pressure. So when you focus and also share each development of work, then you are not unclear, you will be clear, and each one takes up an ownership because we are working in a team, right? So we don't have to assume anything thinking, okay, I think the other department is still working on it, so we'll just wait and we'll just work on whatever is on our hand. We don't have to assume. We'll always get an update from the other department and we know where to take it forward. So everybody is aligned and everybody is updated. It's not like just one individual. So what happens? How does all this happen? When we are focused and we communicate clearly. So different success matrix means every department has its own cutoff time, unclear ownership and handoffs. That is when you don't clarify the process or the progress of your work, then it is unclear. But when you are keeping them updated, okay, we have finished this much today, by tomorrow afternoon by 1 p.m. this project will be ready for you to take it forward. When you get messages of this kind, you are definitely aligned and clear with the progress. So nobody will assume at that time, right? Because you have already got the information. And when this happens is when we are focused and we communicate with clarity. Can we move on to the next slide, please? So in case we still work in silos, there are some silent impacts that happen. What happens? What do you all think? What happens if you're still working or departments are working in silos? What happens? What could be the impact?
Overall productivity will be reduced, ma'am.
Okay, great.
The desired result will not be achieved.
Excellent. Yes.
The
So,
project suffers.
once more, Divya?
The project suffers.
Exactly. Yeah, great, great.
So, and the team is also not in a very, friendly environment. The environment gets way worse when they don't want to work with each other.
Yes. So each one's mood is affected, the entire work is affected, and the outcome is not achieved, right? So what happens when we work in silos is there are delays, we miss our deadlines, we may have to submit certain documents within 24 hours. When the documents are not ready from a particular department, then we may not be able to submit those documents and there is a delay. And what happens, it's not just one person who's working, we are working in teams, remember. So there could be 2 or 3 people who have really put their heart and soul in this project, and they've worked so hard to prepare the papers, and they get frustrated, right? And the team morale gets pulled. Then what happens? People will not come forward to take responsibility. So the accountability reduces, right? This can all lead to low overall performance. So the performance will get affected, as all of you all mentioned. So these are some of the results, or the main results, that could impact when we work in silos. So now we have, in the next slide, can we go on to the next slide, please? Thank you. So from roles to results. So now imagine, let's take a scenario where an individual has been recruited, has got selected. So the HR will send the appointment letter, the offer letter, okay? And they think that they've done their job. But the technical department is not aware, or the operations is not aware, that they should be given a laptop. So they'll say, we were not informed, isn't it? And the admin will say, okay, this person had to be assigned a desk. They'll say, we were not informed too. So then what happens? Everybody is only looking at their role. So HR is talking about, we sent the offer letter and my work is done. So the operations will say, and the IT department will say, no one told us that we had to give this person a laptop, and the candidate is ready to join tomorrow, and this person doesn't have a desk, doesn't have a laptop, and HR says we've done our job, and operations say we don't know, right? So I'm not sure if anybody's gone through this, but it happens. Do you all agree?
100%, ma'am.
Yes, it does.
Yes. So
Yes.
you can't just stick to your role. You have to again inform. The offer letter has been sent, and the operations have to assign a laptop to this individual, and a desk has to be assigned. The admin and the ops have to be informed, and then the achievement is fulfilled, and you get your desk and your laptop. I would definitely feel nice when I go to an office and I see that, oh, they've given me a desk and they've given me a laptop. The office is providing me so much. So you're so happy to start working. So that's what happens. So the end result is happy. So you don't have to stick. So when you collaborate, when there is a collaboration every day, okay, so this is just a small example. So every day becomes a happy day for anybody, and all the departments are involved to make each one happy. Agreed?
Yes.
So this is how simple it is when you work in collaboration. So to make this understanding more simple, I hand it over to Bindu to share some tools that can help us work in collaboration. Over to you, Bindu.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sheila. Next slide, please. And before I start talking about the tools, we heard Sheila. It would be great if somebody could really share one experience, if you could relate to any of these discussions or what Sheila just spoke about. Would anybody like to share any experience? And I'm sure we have a lot of experiences. Anybody would like to go forward? Jacob?
Yeah, I was waiting if anybody else wanted to speak. Okay, so when I was working with Amazon, the same exact thing which Sheila was mentioning sort of happened with me. My laptop actually broke down, and I went to the IT department and I gave it to them for, they said, we can't repair it, we'll give you a replacement. But the person who was supposed to give the replacement, because it was night time, the person had already logged out. And they said, we'll inform the person who's coming in the morning shift, and you can come and collect it tomorrow when you log in the afternoon. So when I went in the afternoon, it did not happen because apparently that communication was not sent across, and there was an approval also to be attached in between. So that step did not happen. And the next day when I went, I did not have laptop for 3 or 4 hours, and I could not log in that day. So it was like a half day for me. So that was one incomplete communication which led to a lot of problems for me.
Bindu, you're on mute.
Okay, so thank you, Jacob, for sharing this. And that is how I think we understand that how our work really suffers if there is no coordination, if there's no collaboration. Cross-functional collaboration is extremely important. So with all the challenges that we saw that happen in cross-functional teams, let us now come on to the tools that we can put in use so that we get the desired result. Our main objective that we want to achieve as a company is accomplished. Now, before I get deep into the tool that is here, I would really like to share one story with all of you. So this story is about the 3 masons who were working at a construction site. And one passerby, he stopped and he put one question, the same question to all the 3 masons. He asked the first mason, "What are you doing?" He looked at him and he said, "I'm cutting stones." He moved on to the second one and asked him, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm earning my living." He went to the third one, and when he asked the same question to this third mason, asking him, "What are you doing?" he smiled and he said, "I am building a cathedral." So all 3 of them all the 3 masons were doing the work, but there was a difference in their perspective, how they looked at their work. So when we talk about outcome first conversations, what does that mean? Am I really talking about the final destination where I want to be as a part of the company? Or I just focus on the task at hand? So let us have conversations that are focused on the outcome, on the desired result. So what are we trying to achieve? If we talk about the masons, let's take it in the corporate world. How does that happen? As Sheila just mentioned, that we are just worried and we speak about our own tasks, but we do not know where are we going? What is it going to lead us to? But as an organization, am I really focusing on the outcome, the desired outcome? And that is why my conversations would always be based on the outcome. What do I want? What am I going to achieve through this project? So why does this matter now? Now my question, if I'm just focusing on my tasks, would be, why do I have to do it now? Why do I have to do it now? I can do it some other time. But when I have that clarity, when I have that purpose, when I have that mission in my mind, what will happen? I will know, why does this matter now? The question may remain the same, but the way I ask, the tone in which I ask that question would completely be transformed, because I know I want to be there to the mission, to fulfill my mission. And how does each team contribute? So when we talk about the cathedral, so do you think the cathedral, only the stone cutter is required to build the cathedral?
No.
No, many people are required.
Right. So yeah, so along with the stone cutter, there would be so many people, the planners, the designers, and so many people would be required to build that beautiful cathedral. So our organizations are those cathedrals. And what do those organizations require? Those organizations require people from all the departments to coordinate and collaborate with each other. And that is why when we focus on the outcome first conversations, project would be successful, undoubtedly. Moving on to the next slide, please. Okay, so who is going to do this? Reframe this conversation, keeping in mind the outcome first. Now, I need this by EOD. Can we just reframe this conversation, basing it on the outcome? What do I want? How am I going to communicate with others? Do you think somebody would do my work if I say I need this by EOD?
No, they
We
would have to do
do this
forcefully,
really.
but not happily.
Absolutely. So Nidhi,
May I
can you?
try?
Yeah. Why not?
Okay. We need to complete the project by end of the date.
Okay. All right.
So
Perfect.
rather than using I, we should be using the word we so that everybody involved uh, feels that they have something to contribute
Yeah.
and everybody's efforts, little efforts matters.
Lovely. Definitely.
It could also be a, in a question or in an asking, like, will it be possible for you to, do it by the end of the day because we really need it.
Absolutely.
It's the urgency. This is the way we can always say people, and they'll happily do it.
Wonderful.
They'll,
Wonderful. So the way we communicate, isn't it? The way we talk with others totally changes the scenario. That is what we need to understand. That how should we communicate? What should our conversation be like? And as Shipra said, nobody should feel secondary. Each department is making a contribution, and each should take that pride of being a part of that particular department. So it's a collective effort that is being made. Let's see the answer, though everybody answered it beautifully. Yeah. So it could be reframed like, to meet the final deadline, this step needs closure by end of day. Does this work for you? Or maybe if the person says, and if you ask so sweetly, I'm sure somebody would definitely do the work. They would not deny. Even if they deny, they would say, maybe I might not be able to do right now, but then first thing in the morning, I'll do it for you. Do you think that helps? So
totally.
most of the times it's a communication. It's a conversation with others. The tone, how we speak with others matters a lot. So moving on to the next one. Yeah. So here is now the 3C alignment check. And I'll speak about these 3 C's later. I want to talk about the 4th C. Let's all go back to our childhood. So how many of you used to ride a bicycle in your childhood? Tell me. Just, okay. Shipra, anybody else? You can raise a virtual hand. Okay, Nidhi, Jacob, wonderful. All of us tried. Megha, super. So we all tried to ride a bicycle. Yeah. Anyone who can just quickly tell me your experience of riding a bicycle? Like when you started learning to ride a bicycle, share your experience with me.
I remember the fall.
I could not even read the seat. If I read the seat, I could not go to my legs. Like it was like what?
Okay.
I remember my father running along with. Sorry. Gargi ma'am.
So actually, my first day was like I was riding. My father was holding the cycle. I had this thing in my mind that he's still holding it, and later I realized because I was increasing the speed. I was just 5 years old, and then I saw he's not there. After that, I had a fall. After realizing that he's not holding it. So after moving, I think maybe 100 meters, then I trembled and then I fall. That
Great.
was the first day.
Wonderful. Okay, anyone else who would like to share any experience about learning how to ride a bicycle? So did we immediately learn when we were there on the bicycle? Do you think we just learned immediately, or we had to do some kind of alignment? Was required?
I had a lot of alignment.
Yes.
Cruises.
Okay.
Still, I'm struggling.
Jacob, I would like to listen what alignment you had to do.
Sorry, what?
What alignment had you to do when you were learning to ride a bicycle?
I had to understand how to pedal, how to steer the handle, how to keep a constant pace so that you don't fall. For the balance, you need a
balancing,
pace and all that. So initially it was somebody pushing, like somebody mentioned, pushing from behind. But later you have to do the pedal part also. So slowly taking one step at a time and getting better at it. And then finally all of that merges together and you ride the bicycle.
Awesome. So that is what it is. It's extremely important to first align, isn't it? When we were learning, or we were in phase of learning how to ride a bicycle, we knew how do we have to hold the handle. If it is turned on one side and I am leaning on the other side, what would happen? I would fall. So similarly in our organizations, this alignment is extremely important. So before any work starts, one should really understand the context. I'll give an example. Let's say a product has to be launched, right? And the product launching begins with, let's say, a designer who just has to do some drawings. Now, if this, he does the drawings and he hands it over to the engineering department, who say, all right, we've done the fixing in the jigsaw fixtures, it's done. And they then hand it over to the manufacturing and they make that product. But do you think that if they do not align themselves, do you think the end product would come as desired? Isn't it? Not at all. So all these departments need to work together. They need to collaborate to understand that why is this important? What is the objective of introducing something, some new product? Why are we doing it? Then next is the clarity. Who owns what? Understanding what is my role, what am I supposed to do, and how do I communicate with others, collaborating with others, then only this product launch would be successful. And again, as I said, going back to the masons, when will I take care of the timeline? By when has this to be done? When will I take care of that? When I know what is the clear objective. So these three things, the context, why is this important? Clarity, the ownership, who's going to do what, and how am I going to coordinate with the other teams, plus the commitment. By when is it required and why is it required? So this clarity is a must. Next slide, please.
Bindu, I would like to add with context. With context, I think consequence also is important, because why is this important and what will go wrong if I don't complete this?
You are absolutely right. Thank you so much for adding this. As I mentioned in the example, if they are not coordinating and let's say they come up with a product, ultimately if the end user is not happy with it, all my hard work goes in vain, isn't it? So thank you so much for adding this, Jacob. Okay, so now think of one current cross-team task at your workplace and tell me which C usually breaks down in your team. Is it the context? Is it the clarity? Or is it the commitment? Tell me. Anyone? Where do you think there is some, if you just think about it, where is that improvement required?
Commitment.
Anybody? Yeah. Okay.
Commitment, I believe. Yeah.
Commitment. They understand, but on time submission at times.
Okay. Yeah, I think the schools really struggle with this because there are a lot of things to be done. Totally understand it. Thank you, Gargi. Anyone else? Okay, Megha. Yeah, clarity is extremely important. Very important. Till and until we don't have clarity, and as I said, we really need to align all these things first and then get to the task so that we really know what are we going to do together. Yeah.
Rahila says commitment, Bindu.
Sorry?
Rahila says commitment.
Yeah, absolutely. By when? Why is it so important? Why do I need to do it now? Because I really want by this time the product launch is there. Are we all ready? Are we all in sync so that we can give it by the required date? So these things should be clear to everyone. Okay, next slide, please. So collaboration does not require any authority. It does not require any designation. It does not require any title, isn't it? As individuals, let me take that ownership. Let me understand that even if I don't have that authority, I can still find out that what do I need to do. So how do you do that? You influence through alignment. So what influence? What is influence? So when you have the purpose clear in your mind, isn't it? We talk about the purpose here. That is how you influence through alignment. Alignment, I said that clarity that is required. Then ownership through communication. So the way we communicate, as we were discussing, the question that was put up. Now, the way you communicate with others, you will clear that. Like a clear ask, what am I supposed to do? What next? You write an email, you follow up. So this helps us to gain that clarity. and respect through structure. It's like the timeline, the agenda. So all these things, does this require any kind of title to gain clarity? Not at all.
No, no.
Yeah. So I must take that onus on myself as an individual, plus also being a part of a team, a bigger team, being a part of an organization. Am I doing all this? This is one question that we all really need to ask ourselves. Otherwise, most of the times is, why should I? This is what was told to me. I'm doing this more than enough, isn't it? So these things are extremely important. Next, please. Now, so there are times the project has been discussed and somebody might not be very clear with the role, what is to be done. Now, what happens if we just keep on running a race, but we are not in our lane? What will happen? Will it be a quality work? Will I know clearly what do I need to do?
You would be disqualified if you're running in somebody else's lane.
Absolutely. So for there are times I might not understand what my role is. So in those times, it is very important to go and ask my immediate leader, so to gain that clarity about the work that is being done, like who is responsible, who's going to do this work, that clarity should be there. And then who is going to approve my work? Now, if I keep on moving around, tell me this, do I really have that clarity? I should really know who is the one who's going to approve my work. Now, people might keep on saying, well done, it's amazing, you did a great job. But are they the ones who are the approvers? No, they are just giving you the feedback, and that does not matter. So whose feedback matters? The approver, the one who's got that authority to approve, right? And the next thing is, who are those people, the experts, whom I can consult for the inputs? Now, generally it happens, there is an issue and I might go to a person who's not even a part of that project. Is there any point going and asking him for solutions? Not at all. It's not going to help me. So am I clear that who are those people who are going to give me the inputs, and that would matter in a project? Ultimately, who is impacted? That should be clear. Who's the end user? As I earlier also gave an example, we may put in the best of efforts, but if the end user is unhappy, the project goes for a toss. Okay? So let's move ahead. Okay, so tell me one ongoing task where ownership is unclear. Any one of you, or maybe you tell, where do handoffs break? What do you think?
I can give an example, not from any corporate, but the place where I'm staying right now. It's a Godrej property. So Godrej has outsourced the clubhouse maintenance to some other third party. Now, whenever we complain about anything wrong in the clubhouse or any repairs required, there's a loss of clarity on who's the owner, who's going to correct it or repair it. And the end user getting affected is the residents here.
Very true. Very true. Thank you for this example. I think it really makes it very clear. And where do handoffs break? I think it's again the same. We've all played a relay game in our childhood, isn't it? What happens? We may be running at full throttle speed, but if I really do not know how to hand over, what will happen? I lose the game. Yeah, Nidhi, you want to say something?
Yeah, when also there are two authority, I can give you an example, like when there is a director in an department and then there is this HOD. So once we have done the task and we have given it to the HOD, or we are done from it, but they are also expecting us to go and give the update to the director. So there is sort of we don't have the clarity कि भाई एक को बताने से काम नहीं होगा. We have to go on and ask who is the right person to just. This is a very I would say a small short example.
Yeah, the small but a very complicated one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyone else would like to share any experience if you've had? Where do handoffs break off? Any experience? Yeah, Sheila Bedi. We have two Sheilas here, so I just yeah. You need to unmute yourself, dear Sheila. Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay.
So basically, recently they said when the two bosses are there, kind of thing. So similar kind of thing, it happens with me also. And I'll give you a real example. One work is there. Every other work I keep on the track, but one work is there which you gave the last time the example. It is not important, but it goes into the urgent thing. That it always happens. And one reason is that this person's work has to be complete, this person's work is to be complete, everyone has to be complete, then which one I'll do first?
Yeah.
Really get confused. And the other thing is that ego matters. I have told that my work should be done. I have told, so my work should be done. I'm like, don't understand. That's what exactly it happens.
Got it.
Ongoing
Got it.
terms.
Yes. It becomes extremely complicated. Sometimes it is absolutely like this. The work may not be that big, but the number of people who have to give approvals, you somehow get lost in that track only. Where to keep the track? Isn't
Yeah,
it?
no, not the approvals thing, ma'am. So everywhere the work is there, you are going to pick up the urgent work. I'll give an example of the expenses which I always are lacking. Okay, so I have to do the expenses of my bosses. If it is 1 month late, it is okay, but mine becomes 1 year late. When I like literally sit on it to do the work, by the time I come to know the bills are not there. So it becomes very difficult. Like when two people are there, I have to do two people's work, and both are very urgent. And then thing goes behind.
That is why we are talking about collaboration and how to make it possible. I think we'll really have to figure out the ways to do it and talk it out. Yes. Over to Sheila.
Thank you, Bindu. So taking this forward, can we have the next slide, please? So building trust in small daily action. Okay. So let's take a situation where you have called a customer service and the customer service has raised a ticket for you because you have a problem with your laptop, let's say. Okay. And the IT department picks up, or there are times when they say that normally what happens, no reply comes from IT department if you're working in a corporate. This is a normal scenario, but then there are times when they are very prompt. So we are talking about the prompt IT department over here. Okay. So the customer service or the helpline raises the ticket and the IT department picks up the ticket and they give you a defined time. They may say it will take 24 hours, or they may just give you a deadline like this will be ready by 2:30 or by 3:15, let's take. Okay. And then the same thing is informed to the end user of the laptop. Then the IT department is so prompt that as they keep working, they say when it is just like 3 o'clock, they send a message saying that the issue is checked, fixing in progress, and it will be ready by 3 p.m. or 3:50 p.m. They have set an expectation at 3:15, but they may give it to you maybe 5 minutes before that. So what happens? The loop is not closed. It is clear that, okay, you've raised a ticket, we've looked into it. So this prompt responses are developing that trust. They are maintaining that trust that they are working on it. And you tell the same thing to the end user. The end user is also calm. But if you say, usually the customer service, what do they say? I'm not sure, but I'll get back to you. This is what they say. And you're tense. You have to, meet some deadline. And these people are giving you an unsure answer. Then what happens? You are agitated. But when you're getting prompt responses like this, the customer service is happy to convey the message that they got from the IT department, and the end customer is happy. And by 3 o'clock, your laptop is fixed, or whatever issue on your system is fixed. So what happens? Everybody's deadlines are met, everybody is happy, and everybody's pressure is respected. Whatever timelines each one works on is respected. The IT has given their work status, the customer service has informed the customer, and the customer is happy. So this is how trust is built in small daily actions. So it doesn't happen in big team work, but it happens in small daily actions. Now let's move on to the next slide. So this is a question for all of you. We have 4 consequences over here. So what do you default to? You can write your answers in the chat box. Do you escalate quickly? Do you do it yourself or follow up with urgency, or you wait and hope? Like you just assume that somebody is going to do something for you. So Jacob says send. Okay, 1 and 3. Divya says Shipra. 1 follow up. Okay. So we have some more. Do it yourself, 1 and 3. Okay, great, excellent. So do it yourself. So there are a lot of them who do it themselves. Yes, Gargi, you have something?
I follow with the urgency. If no one is there, then I do it myself most of the time.
Yeah, that's what.
But what if it is
Yeah,
something
khatam karo.
that is not a part of your team? That work is not part of your team.
Like
I'm sorry.
I said, what if it's something that Gargi or her team members cannot do? If it is something to be done by some other team for which they don't have access or the skill set, then you can only follow.
Will be stuck, right? So you will have to.
So in that case, in this kind of situation, I usually tell my reporting boss that this is what the stuff has happened. So I don't know what to do it because it is not in my hand. But if it is in my hand, I better do it and finish it up. If it is really urgent, if it is not, then fine. We'll wait.
Yes.
Sometimes people misuse that also because they know that Gargi will do it if I don't do it. So they may just.
No, I mean, actually, it is in your priority. When you give your institute the priority, you have your kids. We have so many students. They are our responsibility. That time, these things doesn't come in mind. That time is you have to do it. Do it.
Khatam karna hai.
I have
What
to
to do?
But then
You're a good asset. You're a good asset to your organization.
That's a wonderful discussion.
It's
So
also because at times we don't trust that work will be done in the way we are expecting it to be done. That's why we come up doing it by ourselves.
right.
So it has its own consequences. When
Yeah,
we do,
so-
when we most of the times do it on our own by ourselves, what happens? Maybe when the task is it's not that huge one, you may be able to do it.
You may be
But
overloaded also.
Absolutely, you'll
Right?
be overloaded. And
Yeah.
then as
Burnout
Nidhi said that they might not do it as efficiently as you do, Nidhi. So I would like to just add it here. Now, as a leader or wherever you are, I think it's extremely important to build the skills of the other people too, isn't it?
Yes. The other team never learns the responsibilities if you do it yourself. So it's always good to finish your job and let them do their job. Isn't
And
it?
God forbid, if anything goes wrong, then you are.
Yes,
you are crucified.
answerable.
But I've always
Yeah,
faced
it
this
has
thing.
happened. It
Always
has happened.
I
Accept
have this
this.
thing. I do delegate, but yet I don't have that confidence. I don't know. This is an issue with me. But yeah, delegation karna padega. Otherwise, you will be overloaded all the time.
Yeah.
Very true. Yes, that is required.
Okay, so we'll just look at some examples for all these. So if you escalate quickly, what may happen? Imagine if your boss has to intervene in this. So it may be a quick solution and it's a short-term result. But in the long term, they won't have faith in you. So there's a permanent damage that's done, isn't it? So do it yourself, we already discussed. You'll either be overloaded or you will be answerable and the other department won't know what their responsibilities are. Right? So if you're following up aggressively, people will start avoiding you. They may not answer your calls or they may not even reply to your emails. They may just say, I'm just busy, I'll get back to you. This would be the response that you would get, isn't it? And if you wait and hope, the deadline may just pass and you won't even know about it. Then crisis begins. Right? Yeah. So let's go to the next slide, please. Thank you. So over to you, Bindu.
Yeah, so I think we've discussed so much, and thank you so much for such wonderful interaction. It was amazing and eye-opening too. You shared a lot of examples from your own organizations where you are working or where you've already worked. So now tell me quickly one action this week that you're going to take, and what is it one conversation that you would reframe? Or you could talk about one handoff that needs clarification, or one follow-up that you would close. Anyone. Choose anyone and let us know. Waiting for everybody's response. Any conversation you feel requires reframing? Okay, Divya says one follow-up.
I'm sure they'll take some time to actually respond to this.
Absolutely. So you may think and just
reflect, and then they may, probably even reply in the group. You could do even that.
Or maybe they take this. Yes, Jacob?
I have one follow-up to close. I have a Tamil voiceover project which I had taken. So the artist, because of Pongal, has not delivered the file, the recording yet. So I have one follow-up to do.
Thank you so much for sharing this. Anyone else?
Megha has replied. This is one conversation to reframe. Great. So let's move on to the next slide then.
Okay.
So, yeah. I'm sure this will help. Go on with.
Yeah. So these are the takeaways, and any one of you would like to share your takeaway from today's session? We would love to hear that. What's that one takeaway from today's session? Anyone can speak, please.
Yeah, hello, madam.
Yeah.
In the previous slide, exactly what is meaning of handoff?
Yeah, Nidhi?
My takeaway is again something that I always, struggle dealing with is I will have to get my things done by others, delegate it. Not always it is that I have to do my things. So that is one thing. Of course, coordination with your group members or different people that you deal with, that is always very important.
Absolutely.
It had been and it will be always very important.
Wonderful, Nidhi. That really makes a difference, definitely. How we deal with people, how do we treat them, that always matters. Yeah.
Bindu, I would like to interrupt.
Yeah.
Mr. Sharma, you have a question of the word handoff. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. When we say handoff, it is handing over. So you finish certain task and you are passing on that work to the next department. That is handoff.
For example, if someone resigns, someone leaves the organization, he also gives handover.
That is one type. That is one type. Like you simple language. When you broom this thing, then I will do the pocha. Simple. If you tell me you're not finished, how will I go and do the pocha?
Typical wife. Broom and pocha and all.
Okay.
Yes. Two Sheilas here.
Going to be like whatever I have learned so much today. Thank you very much. And I'm definitely just after this webinar, I'm going to discuss with my team in a short meeting, and there also, I'm going to discuss each and every point that I have learned. This is my takeaway. I'll try that whatever I have learned, I'm able to practically bring into my work life, and also make others learn that they can also follow up the same thing, and this will help us grow bigger.
Lovely. Anyone else would quickly like to share their takeaways?
Sorry.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Shipra. Shipra.
Okay. So mine would be again, ma'am, taking responsibility of your actions, not throwing your, the work that has been assigned to you to other people and waiting for people to, come and ask you every time for if the work is done or not. We should take responsibility of our actions, actually.
Super. Wonderful. Wonderful. Anyone else?
Mine would be to be very clear at the outset, so the expectations are set, and that reduces the friction, so that the deliveries are on time and you don't have to face any delays.
Fantastic.
I have put in my chat in the chat.
Okay, I'll read that.
Yeah, key takeaway really, clarity reduce friction.
Yeah, clarity reduces friction. That's wonderful. Amazing. Right. Thank you so much. And next slide.
Yeah, so we have the toolkit that you will receive in the group, which is collaboration framework summary, outcome first, conversation guide, 3 C's and race templates, and 7-day action planner. So all this will be the toolkit that you will receive. And we would love to hear how this helped you people. And if you have any questions, we are open for it.
So, Insia, you stop sharing the screen.
My question is to Sheila. Sheila, did you happen to work in IT industry? Because most of your examples were related to IT.
Which Sheila?
Well,
because I'm also Sheila and I'm also working in IT.
Well, I'm from the customer service and communication, but yes, we deal with a lot with the IT field because we work online. So that's a reason I give the examples.
It shows. It shows.
Great.
Anyone else who would like to share something? It was so good to have you all here, and you really made it very, very interactive.
Yes.
So grateful.
Great energy, and loved the way each one of you participated and made it so comfortable for us to speak. Actually, it was more a discussion than a webinar, I would say.
Absolutely, that is what I love about interacting. That when you all interact, I think that's what the magic it creates when everybody is interactive, isn't it?
Yeah.
So quickly, let's have a commemorative picture. And again, my humble request to everyone: let's turn on our cameras, please.
Yes, please.
Come on, I'm waiting for everyone.
So a formal conclusion. So we conclude today's webinar.
If we could all, if we can turn on our cameras. I'm waiting for a few more. There are 7 others where the camera is off. Divya is there, Rashi is there. So waiting, I'm going to count 1, 2, and 3 and then click the picture. Okay.
I guess they're media shy.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Also, I would like to add on about the discussion that you told. It is so nice to hear from so many people from different fields, different areas. So it's a very great feeling altogether. It's an energy altogether that we have also felt. Not only you both, rather we also felt the same.
It's really nice. Each other's energy, right?
Absolutely. I think these learnings, the shared learnings are the ones that take you forward, isn't it? So it's always amazing to listen to other people's perspective. That is what I always feel, right? So 1, 2, and 3, let's say cheese and a lovely picture.
Cheese.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was wonderful.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for the wonderful session.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you to all facilitators for today's session. And thank you to all the participants for your time and engagement. As shared, you will receive the takeaway resource from today's session, which will help you apply these learnings in your day-to-day meetings. To stay connected with us, our social media links are being shared in the chat. Please follow us to stay updated on more practical, relevant, and engaging webinars for corporate professionals. I'd also like to mention that we have our next webinar coming up on 24th January, where we'll be exploring another important workplace skill. And I'd like to request all the participants to kindly fill out the feedback form The link has been shared in the chat and will also be shared in the WhatsApp group shortly. Thank you again for being with us today. We look forward to welcoming you to our upcoming sessions. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. My special thanks to the couple. Your energy is amazing. Thank you so much, Puneet.
Ma'am, thank you to you actually. From NIST, I got connected with you. And then from there, here.
Yeah.
I don't know next
We'll
what.
stay connected. We will stay
Yes.
connected. Yeah, let's do that. Okay,
We
bye-bye.
we look forward to see you people in more webinars.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure. We'll
Good
be
luck.
there. Good
Good
luck.
luck.
Thank you, ma'am.